Communication, interaction, engagement. Community engagement seeks to engage community to achieve sustainable outcomes, equitable decision-making processes, and deepen relationship and trust between government, organization, and communities. It also provides participants with information they need to engage in a meaningful way with policy issues and communicates via feedback how their input affects public decision. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. Every communication involves at least one sender, a message, and a recipient. This may sound simple, but communication is actually a very complex subject. The transmission of the message from sender to recipient can be affected by a huge range of things. This includes our emotion, the cultural situation, the medium used to communicate, and even our location. Three principles of community engagement. First, be clear about the purposes or goals of engagement effort in the population and all communities. Second, become knowledgeable about a community in terms of its economic condition, political structures, norms, values, practices, etc. Third, go into the community, establish relationships, build trust, work with a formal and informal leadership, and seek commitment from community organizations. Fourth, remember and accept that community self-determination is the responsibility and the right of all people who comprise a community. You should not assume that you can bestow on a community the power to act in its own self-interest. And the last one, you must recognize and respect community diversity. Awareness of the various cultures of the community and other factors of diversity must be paramount in designing and implementing community engagement approaches.
Community engagement aims to have effective communication, and for that to achieve, here are some strategies I prepared. Before engaging in a community, you must outreach and know your target audience. If you know who you are trying to reach, you can gear or adjust your communications toward the values and messaging that will resonate most with them. Determine who would ultimately benefit and have something to say about it when crafting your communications. You need to provide the public with balanced and objective information. In short, you must know your audience for you to weigh your messages and have an effective communication towards them. It is important to know your audience for you to prepare appropriate words and messages for them. Second, include regular updates or have a consultation. Keep them updated as soon as you have something to share. A quick follow-up on the initial messages keeps everything fresh in the public's minds and drives more continuous engagement. It offers an opportunity for new arrivals in your city or country to get involved and also engages your community with a progress to show the participants that their voice matters. It is also another way to build communication within the people in your community because updating means showing concern. Third, make an involvement through different channels. Work with the public to ensure that concerns are consistently understood and considered. You could either use different online platforms, but to boost the impact of your communications plan, it is best to spread the word offline as well because there are still some that are not an online person or doesn't have any access to, or there are some groups within your community that might not always be easy to reach in the digital realm. Fourth, have a collaboration. You must partner with the public to identify the preferred solution and develop alternatives. Having some ambassadors such as politicians or influencers could help you draw attention to your platform or messages through motivating them by means of sharing personal messages. And lastly, empower. Engage with the public in the final decision process to help you build trust and letting people know their feedback. Empowering means giving an idea, knowledge, and confidence to do so. You must empower your audience with knowledge for them to have confidence.
Application.
Community engagement has allowed people to collaborate with one another. Those who are in the recipient side has been better understood and helped because of having clearer connection between its officials. As development communicators, it is important to know how community engagement actually works in the community to establish a well-founded connection between people. Knowing the purpose of your engagement creates a clearer goal to target. It is easy for us to know all the problems in the community if we are aware about our purpose why we engage. Get to know our stakeholders is a specified goal that we should aim to. Since we are targeting people, it is important that we should consider who are the beneficiaries of our actions. Working with the officials allow us to have a clearer connection in the community since they are the ones leading the people. Collaborating with them also establishes a better foundation when working in the community. Planning proper. As we consider all the things that we might encounter along our community engagement, it is high time to settle things between the people. It is not just those who are in the higher position that will decide for the actions that should be done, since those who are in the lower sectors are the ones affected directly, so it is important to always take consideration of their opinion. As soon as the planning and implementation are done, it is time to get the feedback and evaluation of those people that have been targeted. It is getting to know their views about the engagement that has done and how it affects them. It is also useful for the future engagement events to come.
When it comes to community engagement, there are some key things to bear in mind. These community engagement best practices are aimed at creating a positive, cooperative space for all community members while limiting conflict. Number 1. Create a safe environment for engagement. When it comes to community engagement best practices, the most important thing to aim for is a safe, supportive, and accessible environment for all community members. This should be the top priority and is something to keep front of mind when building community engagement strategy. To achieve this, it's important to have community engagement guidelines in place to help members understand what kind of engagement is allowed and expected in the group. Second, give your community a sense of purpose. When you are developing a community engagement strategy, it's a really good idea to create clear goals for your community. This is best done as early as possible to give your community direction and purpose. This is one of the community engagement best practices that brands and course creators can use to help community members help themselves. If you want to increase community engagement, give your community shared aims. This provides users with a clear understanding of what is expected of them in the community, including what kind of contents to post, how to engage with other members, and what they can gain from being an active participant in the group. Third, test different engagement strategies. When creating a community engagement strategy, it's also important to remember that things can change. The best community engagement strategy should be flexible. Don't be afraid to switch up your strategy if something isn't working or if you come across a new community engagement idea that you think could work better.
Community engagement is primarily part of a dialogue where organizations and communities can make decisions to create social capital. Compelling stories of the importance of the community engagement range from creating change in local policies and service provisions that not only enrich everyday lives and livability of communities but also help shape and envision a community's future, bringing not only wider societal change but global impact.